Okay, so today we're going deep, really deep, like into some pretty heavy stuff. We've been digging into this uh, document called The Corruption of the Faithful 2.pdf, and honestly, it's kind of freaking me out a little bit,
Yeah, it's intense stuff.
like making me question everything, like what is even real anymore? We're talking about like truth,
Yeah.
language,
Right.
democracy, things we always thought were solid, right? But this document is making the case that they're changing, becoming, well, tools to control us, to
Hmm.
make us consume.
It's a pretty radical idea, but I mean, look around, look at what's happening. It's not that far-fetched.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to unpack in this deep dive to try and understand what this document is saying about how these things, truth, language, democracy, are being twisted and turned into something else. Like instead of being based on facts or like
Yeah.
shared reality, everything's becoming about perception. And whoever controls perception, well, they control everything.
Right. The document calls it the shattered logos.
Oh, yeah. The shattered logos. That was a big one. Okay, so logos. For those of you who, haven't spent their lives studying ancient philosophy, think of it like this. It's this old idea from way back that there's a kind of divine order to the universe, like a principle of reason, of meaning. And this logos, it was like the bedrock of civilization. It was the belief that words had like fixed meanings, that truth, even if it was hard to find, was out there,
Hmm.
and that it was the ultimate goal, like the thing we were all striving for.
Right. It was the foundation. But what the document is saying is that that foundation is broken. It's shattered.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we don't even agree on what's true anymore. Everything's up for grabs. And words, instead of helping us communicate and understand each other, they're being used to confuse us, to manipulate us. Like words are weapons now.
Yeah, exactly. The document calls it the war of narratives. It's like the real battles aren't happening on battlefields anymore. They're happening in the media,
Hmm.
online, in our heads even. It's all about controlling the story. Whoever controls the narrative controls everything.
And it's not even about being right anymore. It's about being the loudest, the most convincing.
Right. It doesn't matter if you have facts on your side. What matters is if you can frame the argument, control the conversation.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the document lays out these like rules for how this war of narratives works. The first one is the power to name is the power to rule. It's all about labels. Like how the words we use to describe things, to describe people, have so much power. They shape how we see the world.
Think about it. If you can label someone as an enemy or a traitor or a heretic, suddenly it's okay to dismiss them, to silence them.
To hate them even.
Exactly. You don't even have to engage with their ideas anymore. You've already defined them. You've already put them in a box.
And that's it, they're done. The second rule is even weirder. It says contradiction is strength.
Yeah, that one's a bit of a head scratcher.
Basically, it's saying that all this chaos, all this fighting and back and forth, that actually helps the system. It keeps us distracted,
Hmm.
keeps us from thinking too deeply about what's really going on.
It's like if everything is always changing, if up is down and down is up, then nothing really matters. And when nothing matters, it's easy to just go along with whatever's
You
happening.
just give up.
Yeah, it's exhausting to keep fighting, to keep trying to make sense of things, especially when the rules are constantly changing.
Okay, and the third rule, this one's kind of scary. It says memory is the enemy.
Oh, yeah, that one's creepy.
It's basically saying that history is being rewritten, like all the time. And not just rewritten, but erased. And that makes us question our own memories,
Yeah.
makes us doubt what we know to be true.
It's gaslighting on a massive scale.
Yeah, exactly. It makes you feel crazy, like you can't even trust your own experiences anymore. And when that happens, you become completely dependent on the system to tell you what's real.
Because what else are you going to believe?
Okay, so that's the war of narratives. But then the document goes a step further. It starts talking about this thing called the theocratic mechanism of control.
Oh, yeah, that's where things get really interesting.
Okay, so theocracy. We usually think of that as like a government run by priests, right?
Like the Vatican
Mhm.
or ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
Right.
But what the document is saying is that we're moving towards a new kind of theocracy. One where it's not priests who control the truth, but the media, the internet, big tech. And it's not just about religion anymore, it's about ideology.
It's about controlling what people believe,
Yeah.
what they think, how they see the world.
And it's not even like one set of beliefs.
Right.
It's constantly changing.
Exactly. It's fluid, it adapts, it's whatever the system needs it to be at any given moment.
So like one day it's this, the next day it's that, and you're just supposed to keep up. And if you don't, well, you're a heretic.
Right. You're an outsider. You're a threat.
And the document also talks about how this creates this crazy polarization. It's like you're either all in or you're the enemy.
Yeah. There's no middle ground anymore. No room for nuance.
And the people who buy into it, they become the enforcers. They police everyone else's thoughts and beliefs. It's like a witch hunt.
It's scary, man.
It is. And the document calls this whole thing the engine of perpetual struggle. It's like the system needs us to be fighting, to be divided. Because as long as we're focused on that, we're not paying attention to what's really happening.
We're not focusing on the people in power, the people who are actually pulling the strings.
Right. Okay, so then the document gets into language. And this is where things get really mind-bending.
The corruption of language?
Yeah. It's like language is supposed to be this tool for communication, right?
Yeah.
But the document argues that it's been corrupted, that it's become a tool of manipulation.
Words don't mean what they used to mean.
Right. And it's not just that they've evolved.
Yeah.
It's that they're being deliberately manipulated. Like definitions are being changed, words are being banned. And it doesn't even matter what you intend to say anymore. It's all about how your words can be interpreted, how they can be used against you.
Yeah. It's like the thought police are real now.
It's terrifying. And the document talks about how this has two main functions. One is to control perception. It's like if you can control the language, you can control how people see the world. You can make them believe anything.
Like, think about how the word freedom has been used. It used to mean like freedom from tyranny, but now it's often used to mean freedom to consume, freedom to conform.
Yeah. It's crazy how just changing the words can change the entire meaning.
Yeah.
And the second function of this corrupt language is to paralyze thought. It's like if we can't even agree on what words mean, how can we have a conversation? How can we debate ideas? How can we even think critically?
It's like our brains are being scrambled.
Yeah. We're being overloaded with information, with conflicting narratives,
Yeah.
with constantly shifting definitions. And it's all designed to shut us down, to make us give up.
And when we give up thinking for ourselves, that's when they win.
Right. And the document even says that the state has become like the priesthood of meaning. Like they're the ones who get to decide what words mean, what's true, what's acceptable.
It's scary how much power they have.
And then there's this idea of the ritual empty speech. It's like we're not really communicating anymore. We're just performing. We're using words to signal our loyalty, our purity.
It's like a cult.
And the ultimate goal is to reach this final stage, the death of thought, where we don't even think for ourselves anymore. We just parrot whatever the system tells us to.
We become robots.
Okay, so next, the document talks about this concept of the theocratic democracy. And this is where it really starts to feel like we're living in a dystopian novel.
It's like democracy is supposed to be about the people, right? But the document is arguing that it's become something else. It's become a faith, a sacred order.
And this new faith, it demands obedience, it demands rituals, it demands that we believe.
And if you don't believe, well, you're a heretic. You're a threat to the system.
And the document outlines this unholy trinity of this new theocratic democracy. It's wild. The first one is the state as God. It's like the state has become this all-powerful entity, and it doesn't matter if it's corrupt, if it's dysfunctional, if it's hurting people, it's still God.
And people are afraid to question it. Because what's the alternative? Chaos. Anarchy.
Right. It's like the devil you know. The second part of the unholy trinity is the market as the church. And this is where consumerism comes in. It's like shopping has become our new religion.
We worship at the altar of Amazon.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're constantly told that buying things will make us happy, will give us meaning, but it never does.
It just keeps us wanting more. It keeps us in debt. It keeps us trapped.
And the third part of the unholy trinity is the citizen as the believer. And this is where it gets really creepy. It's like we're all expected to be good little consumers, to obey the rules, to enforce the ideology.
It's like we've become the thought police.
Yeah. And the document talks about how this creates this sacrament of struggle. It's like the system needs us to be constantly fighting, to be at war with each other, because that keeps us distracted. It keeps us from uniting against the real enemy.
Which is the system itself.
And then there's this idea of the choice that isn't one. It's like we're told that we have a choice, capitalism or communism, freedom or tyranny.
But it's a false choice. It's a trap.
Because both options lead to the same place.
Yeah.
To control,
Yeah.
to oppression, to the loss of our humanity. And then the document ends this whole section with this really bleak prediction. It calls it the inevitable end.
Yeah, it's not a happy ending.
It's basically saying that the system is going to collapse. And when it does, it's going to blame us. It's going to turn us against each other. We're going to tear ourselves apart.
It's a pretty grim picture.
Okay,
Yeah.
but it doesn't end there.
Yeah.
The document goes on to talk about the theology of the masses, and this is where it gets into how ideology has become our new religion,
It's like we've replaced God with social justice.
or with economic equality,
Or
or with whatever the flavor of the month is. And this new religion, it has its own set of beliefs, its own rituals, its own saints and sinners.
And it's just as intolerant as any other religion.
More so? Maybe?
Yeah.
Because it's disguised as progress, as enlightenment.
Yeah, it's like you can't question it. You can't criticize it. Because if you do, you're a bigot. You're a hater. You're literally Hitler.
And the document talks about how this creates this breeding of demons. It's like we're being told that we're all inherently bad, that we're all guilty of something. And the only way to redeem ourselves is to constantly confess our sins, to constantly atone.
It's like a never-ending cycle of self-flagellation.
And it's exhausting. It's demoralizing. And it's designed to keep us in a state of fear and submission. And then there's this idea of the hunger of the people. It's like we're all searching for meaning, for purpose, for belonging.
And the system exploits that.
Yeah. It gives us these empty promises. It tells us that if we just buy this product or believe this ideology or join this movement, then we'll finally be happy. But it's all a lie.
It's a trap. It's a way to keep us consuming, to keep us distracted, to keep us under control.
Okay, and then the document gets into this really interesting analysis of how neo-Marxism has evolved. It's like, it used to be all about class struggle, right? But now, it's about so much more than that. It's about race. It's about gender. It's about identity. It's become this all-encompassing ideology that explains everything.
And anyone who questions it is automatically labeled as an enemy.
Right. You're a racist. You're a sexist. You're a transphobe. You're whatever the latest buzzword is.
Right.
And the document ties this back to the breeding of demons idea. It's like this ideology is so powerful, so persuasive, that it can literally turn people into monsters.
They become so obsessed with fighting oppression, with rooting out injustice, that they lose all sense of perspective. They become the very thing they claim to be fighting against.
And then we get back to the hunger of the people. But this time, the focus is on how this hunger drives the entire system. It's like we're constantly being told that we need more stuff, more experiences, more validation, more identity.
And this endless hunger, it's what keeps the wheels turning. It's what keeps the economy going. It's what keeps the system alive.
And it's destroying us. It's destroying our planet. It's destroying our souls. The document calls us the devouring class. And it's a perfect description. We're consuming everything in sight. And we're not even enjoying it.
We're just hungry, always hungry.
Okay, the next part of this deep dive is about the parasites of civilization. And this is where the document really gets dark. It's saying that civilization itself has become a parasite, that the very institutions that are supposed to be helping us are actually feeding off of us.
It's a pretty bleak assessment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it breaks it down into these three parasites of the modern world. The first one is the economic parasite. It's all about greed, about exploitation, about extracting wealth from the many to benefit the few.
And it's not just about money, it's about power.
Right. It's about control. And the second parasite is the social parasite. This is where social media comes in. It's about how we've become so obsessed with our online personas, with curating our lives for the perfect Instagram post.
It's like we're not even living anymore, we're just performing.
And the third parasite is the political parasite. This is about how the government has become this self-serving entity that's more interested in staying in power than in actually helping people.
And it does that by keeping us in a constant state of fear, by manufacturing crises, by dividing us against each other.
Yeah. And all of this leads to what the document calls a society of consumption without purpose. It's like we're just consuming, but we don't even know why.
We've lost our way, we've lost our souls.
And the document talks about how this creates this divide between the devouring class and the hollowed masses. It's like there's this small group of people at the top who are just consuming everything in sight. And then there's the rest of us who are just empty shells.
He's been hollowed out.
And then there's this really disturbing concept of the economy of the soul. It's like our souls have become commodities. Our very existence is a transaction.
We're selling ourselves piece by piece.
And we're not even getting a good price.
We're being ripped off.
And then the document talks about how capitalism as the new God. It's like we've replaced God with money, with profit, with growth.
And the priests of this new religion are the CEOs. The bankers, the politicians.
And the gospel is endless consumption.
And the apocalypse is when we run out of things to consume.
Okay, so the last section we're going to talk about today is the collapse of the real. This is where the document gets really philosophical. It's like It's questioning the very nature of reality. It's asking, what is real anymore? What is true?
It's pretty mind-bending stuff.
Yeah. And it starts by talking about how the world as a simulation. It's like we're living in a world where perception is reality, where everything is a performance, where nothing is authentic.
And it's hard to know what to believe anymore.
Right. Because everything is so carefully curated, everything is filtered, everything is fake. And the document talks about how this is all part of a deliberate strategy. It calls it manufactured confusion. It's like the powers that be are deliberately trying to confuse us, to overwhelm us with information, to make us doubt our own senses.
And it's working.
Yeah. People are exhausted. They're giving up. They're just letting the system tell them what to think. And the document calls this the death of meaning. It's like words don't mean anything anymore. Identities are fluid and meaningless. Beliefs are just empty slogans.
We're becoming zombies.
And the ultimate goal is to create this final illusion where we're so immersed in this fake reality that we don't even realize it's fake anymore.
We become prisoners in our own minds.
And the document talks about how this is all being facilitated by the dissolution of contemplation. It's like we're constantly bombarded with noise, with distractions, with stimulation. We never have time to just sit and think,
Yeah.
to be alone with our own thoughts.
And that's dangerous, because when we stop thinking for ourselves, we stop being human.
Right. And then the document revisits the idea of manufactured confusion. But this time it breaks it down into specific tactics, like how the system uses contradictory information to confuse us, how it creates complex problems that are impossible to solve, how it gives us the illusion of choice when there is no real choice, how it manufactures crises to keep us in a state of fear.
It's a pretty sophisticated system of control.
And the final point the document makes is about the end of democracy. It's like it's saying that democracy is dead, that it's been replaced by this empty ritual of voting, that we're not really choosing our leaders, that we're being controlled by unseen forces.
And the scary thing is, most people don't even realize it.
They're still going through the motions, they're still believing the lies, but the truth is, the system is rigged, the game is over, and we've already lost.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. But it's important to understand what's happening, to see the world for what it is. So as you go about your day, think about what you've heard today, question everything, challenge the narratives, and most importantly, don't give up hope. Because even in the darkest of times, there's always a glimmer of light.
There's always a chance for change.
As long as we keep fighting for it.